We often live as if aging is a far-off concern, something that happens to other people, not to us. But what if I told you that embracing aging could be one of the most powerful steps toward understanding the deeper truths of life? Yes, you read that right. Aging isn't just a biological process, it's a profound teacher. Imagine for a moment that the very act of growing older could unlock secrets about happiness, wisdom, and living with intention. In this exploration, we'll challenge conventional beliefs about aging and discover how facing this inevitable reality can actually bring more prosperity, peace, and understanding into our lives. It's time to break free from the fear and resistance that hold us back from truly living. By embracing aging, we can uncover lessons in compassion, patience, and resilience, tools that will not only help us navigate life's transitions, but thrive through them. So, are you ready to shift your perspective and unlock the gifts that come with the wisdom of age? Let's dive in, and you might just find that aging is not a path to fear, but one of the greatest paths to transformation. Have you noticed how aging often sneaks up on us? We don't think about it until it's staring us in the face, like when a loved one starts moving slower or forgets things they once remembered with ease. It's a quiet but undeniable truth. Aging isn't a future event. It's happening to all of us, every day. Recognizing this can shift the way we see life's inevitable changes. Most of us avoid thinking about aging, treating it like a distant worry. But when life forces the issue, like a parent needing extra help, it becomes impossible to ignore. Imagine realizing your once energetic mom now struggles with everyday tasks. It's a stark reminder that time doesn't wait for anyone. Facing this reality can be unsettling, yet it also opens the door to growth. Aging isn't just about physical changes, it's a mirror reflecting our deepest emotions. Watching someone we love grow older brings a mix of sadness, love, and even frustration. For instance, a father repeating stories might test your patience, but beneath the surface, those stories carry wisdom and connection. Recognizing this helps us approach aging with more understanding. When we think of aging, it's easy to focus on loss, but there's also beauty in it. A grandparent's wrinkles, for example, tell stories of a life fully lived. What if we started seeing these signs as symbols of strength and resilience instead of decline? By shifting this perspective, we open ourselves to the richness that comes with time. Aging teaches us to slow down and focus on what really matters. Consider how a quiet moment with an aging loved one can offer insights we'd never find in the rush of daily life. Simple conversations, like asking about their childhood, can deepen your understanding of life's joys and struggles. These moments are treasures that connect us across generations. In Buddhism, aging is part of life's impermanence, a reminder that nothing stays the same. This isn't meant to discourage, but to inspire. Each day is an opportunity to appreciate the present. The next time you see an older family member, ask about their fondest memory. Their answer might reveal the wisdom that comes from embracing life's changes. Instead of fearing aging, what if we viewed it as a teacher? Every line on a face tells a story. Every gray hair marks a lesson learned. By embracing this truth, we deepen our connection to others and ourselves. This understanding becomes even more important when caregiving enters the picture, a role that challenges and transforms us in unexpected ways. Imagine a man in his 40s, juggling work, family, and the overwhelming responsibility of caring for his mother who has dementia. Each day, he's torn between love and frustration. He wants to be there for her, but the endless repetition of questions and forgetfulness feels like too much. It's a heavy emotional load, and while his heart is full of love, his patience is running thin. Caregiving often feels like an unending cycle, especially when it comes to dementia. It's not just the tasks, helping with meals, medication, and bathing, but the emotional toll of seeing someone you love become a shadow of who they once were. He finds himself mourning the woman his mother used to be, even though she's still physically present. There are moments when he feels guilty for his frustration, yet it's hard to ignore the emotional exhaustion. He snaps sometimes, raising his voice when his mother forgets something for the third or fourth time that day. Afterward, he's consumed by guilt. He loves her deeply, but the weight of caregiving leaves little room for self-compassion. This man's struggle is amplified by the isolation caregiving often brings. Friends don't fully understand, and he hesitates to share how hard it really is. Society celebrates the idea of selfless care, but the reality is far messier. It's okay to admit that caregiving isn't always a noble journey. It's often exhausting, frustrating, and isolating. Practical solutions, like joining a support group or seeking counseling, can help. For instance, finding a local dementia caregivers group might provide a safe space to vent and learn strategies from others in similar situations. He might also explore brief respite care options, giving himself a chance to recharge. These steps can lighten the emotional burden without diminishing his love and commitment. At the heart of this struggle is a longing to be understood. He's trying to balance being a devoted son while maintaining his own identity and well-being. This internal conflict is common, but it doesn't have to consume him. Small acts of self-care, like taking a walk or even enjoying a quiet cup of tea, can help him reconnect with himself, even amidst the chaos. Caregiving is a journey that tests the soul, but it also reveals incredible strength and compassion. For this man, the road ahead isn't just about caring for his mother, it's about finding peace within himself. This emotional battle lays the foundation for a deeper exploration of the dynamics between devotion and frustration, which we'll uncover next. Picture this: a devoted father tirelessly caring for his wife, his love for her unwavering despite the challenges of her condition. Every day he prepares meals, ensures her comfort, and patiently repeats answers to her questions. It's his way of honoring a lifetime of shared moments. But for their son, this constant care feels overwhelming. He sees the strain on his father and wonders why they don't seek outside help. The son's frustration grows as he tries to reconcile his father's devotion with his own feelings of anger and exhaustion. He often lashes out, not just at the situation, but at his mother, unable to separate his emotions from her condition. Deep down, he knows it isn't her fault, but in the heat of the moment, the resentment spills over. These outbursts only add to his guilt. His father's resilience is a stark contrast to his own struggles. While the father seems to find purpose in caregiving, the son feels trapped, his emotions swinging wildly between love, sadness, and irritation. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he feels he's losing himself in the process. The gap between their responses creates tension, leaving the son feeling misunderstood. This dynamic is more common than we realize. Generational differences in coping and caregiving often lead to misunderstandings. The father, shaped by years of commitment and perhaps a sense of duty, views caregiving as an extension of his love. The son, balancing modern responsibilities and his own emotional limits, struggles to see it the same way. Neither perspective is wrong, but the disconnect can feel like a chasm. Finding a middle ground starts with open communication. Imagine if the son and father sat down and shared their feelings honestly, no judgments, just understanding. The father might explain how caregiving fulfills him, while the son could express his need for boundaries. This conversation could transform their relationship, turning tension into teamwork. Practical changes could also ease the strain. For example, they could explore part-time caregiving assistance or divide responsibilities in a way that respects both their limits and their love for the mother. The father might continue handling tasks that bring him joy, like cooking, while the son focuses on logistics, such as arranging appointments. These adjustments could make the load feel lighter. This story of devotion and frustration isn't just about caregiving. It's about the complexities of love and family dynamics. Both father and son are navigating uncharted territory, each in their own way. The next step is to delve deeper into the son's emotional turmoil, uncovering the fears and conflicts that fuel his struggle. The son's frustration isn't just about his mother's condition. It's a storm of emotions he can't seem to control. He's angry at her memory loss, resentful of the time caregiving demands, and overwhelmed by guilt for feeling this way. Every time he snaps or pulls away, he's consumed by shame. These emotions don't just weigh on him. They leave him questioning his own capacity for love and patience. Beneath the surface, his anger isn't directed at his mother, but at the situation. He's mourning the loss of the woman she used to be, the one who cared for him, supported him, and knew him better than anyone else. Now it feels like that connection is slipping away, and he doesn't know how to handle it. This grief, masked as frustration, is something he hasn't learned to name or process. His guilt is a constant companion, a quiet voice reminding him of his shortcomings. He wonders, why can't I be as patient as my dad? Or, what kind of person gets angry at their own mother? These questions only deepen his emotional wounds, trapping him in a cycle of self-blame. He knows he loves her, but in his darkest moments, that love feels buried under layers of exhaustion. Fear also plays a significant role in his conflict. His mother's condition is a stark reminder of his own mortality and the inevitability of aging. He wonders if he'll face the same struggles, whether his children will resent him one day, or if he'll end up alone. These thoughts keep him awake at night, adding another layer to his emotional burden. What makes this struggle so painful is the isolation it brings. He doesn't feel like he can share these fears openly, not with his father, who seems to have endless patience, nor with friends who might not understand. This silence reinforces the idea that he's alone in his feelings, even though many others in his position experience the same struggles. Practical steps can help untangle this conflict. For instance, journaling about his emotions could give him clarity and an outlet for his frustrations. Therapy or support groups might offer tools for coping and a space to feel heard. Even small shifts, like taking time for hobbies or exercise, can provide a sense of control and relief. The son's emotional journey is one of self-discovery as much as caregiving. Learning to accept his feelings without judgment is the first step toward healing. As he begins to make peace with his struggles, he'll find new ways to connect with his mother and himself. This internal shift sets the stage for exploring the profound teachings of Buddhism on life's inevitable challenges. Life is filled with undeniable truths, and Buddhism encapsulates them as the four sufferings: birth, aging, illness, and death. These are experiences we all share, yet most of us spend our lives avoiding or denying them. But here's the catch: avoiding suffering doesn't make it disappear. Instead, facing these truths head-on can lead to profound wisdom and a deeper connection to life itself. Aging, one of the four sufferings, often feels like a slow, inevitable march we'd rather ignore. Think of the son in our story, wrestling with his mother's decline while struggling to accept his own mortality. It's a poignant reminder that aging isn't just something that happens to others, it's a universal reality. The sooner we embrace it, the less power it has to consume us. Illness is another undeniable part of life's journey. Whether it's dementia, a chronic condition, or even a fleeting cold, illness reminds us of our fragility. The son's mother's dementia is a painful illustration of this truth. It forces him to confront not just her suffering, but also his fears of vulnerability and dependency, fears that most of us carry but rarely articulate. Death, the final of the four sufferings, is perhaps the hardest to face. It's the ultimate unknown, the great equalizer. For the son, his mother's condition feels like a slow goodbye, a daily confrontation with the reality of loss. But in Buddhism, death isn't seen as an end. It's part of the cycle of life, a transition that invites reflection on how we live each day. Birth, often celebrated as a joyous beginning, is also part of this cycle of suffering. It represents the start of life's challenges, a gateway into a world where aging, illness, and death await us all. This perspective may seem grim, but it also holds the key to enlightenment. By acknowledging suffering as intrinsic to life, we can begin to transcend it. Buddhism teaches that suffering isn't meant to paralyze us, but to awaken us. Imagine the son embracing his mother's condition not as a tragedy, but as an opportunity to grow in compassion and patience. By reframing suffering as a teacher, he can transform his relationship with her and with himself. This shift in perspective is at the heart of spiritual growth. The four sufferings remind us that life's struggles are universal, connecting us to others and to the world around us. They challenge us to find meaning in the face of hardship and to cultivate resilience. As the son navigates his mother's care, these teachings offer him a lens through which to view his journey, not as a burden, but as a path to wisdom and peace. Even when we know aging is inevitable, living through it alongside a loved one feels like uncharted waters. The son had heard about dementia before, but no amount of reading could prepare him for the reality of caring for his mother. It's the difference between knowing the road exists and walking it yourself. It's overwhelming, disorienting, and deeply personal. The emotional reality of caregiving is something many people don't grasp until they're in the thick of it. Friends might offer kind words, but their lives go on uninterrupted. Meanwhile, the son's days are consumed by his mother's care. This disconnect makes him feel even more isolated, as if he's navigating a foreign land with no map and no guide. Physically, caregiving demands constant vigilance. From keeping track of medications to ensuring his mother's safety at home, every moment requires his attention. But the emotional toll is what truly drains him. Watching his mother struggle with the simplest tasks is heartbreaking, and every forgetful moment feels like a reminder of how much he's already lost. This unfamiliar territory also brings unexpected lessons. The son begins to notice small moments of clarity in his mother's day. A smile when she recognizes him, or a fragment of a story from her past. These fleeting instances remind him of her humanity and offer a sense of connection amidst the chaos. They're a glimpse of light in an otherwise challenging journey. It's easy to feel lost in this role, but there are resources to help navigate it. Reaching out to organizations specializing in dementia care or attending workshops can provide valuable tools and insights. For instance, learning techniques to manage challenging behaviors or understanding the stages of the condition can make the experience less daunting. No one enters caregiving fully prepared, and that's okay. Like any journey into the unknown, it requires patience, adaptability, and a willingness to learn. The son's experience might feel isolating, but he's not alone. Millions of others are walking similar paths. Realizing this shared struggle can offer a sense of solidarity and hope. As the son continues to navigate these uncharted waters, he's faced with a difficult decision: whether to place his mother in a care facility. This choice brings its own set of challenges, forcing him to weigh her needs against his own limits. In the next chapter, we'll explore this emotional crossroads and the burden it carries. The decision to place a loved one in a care facility is one of the heaviest burdens a caregiver can face. For the son, it feels like an admission of failure, even though deep down, he knows it might be the best option. His mother resists the idea, clinging to her familiar surroundings, and he's torn between honoring her wishes and preserving his own well-being. The weight of caregiving isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental. Every day feels like a delicate balancing act. The son wrestles with questions like, am I doing enough, or am I giving up too soon? These doubts linger, fueling his guilt and making the decision even harder. Yet his exhaustion grows, leaving him desperate for a solution. Practical realities often push caregivers toward this difficult choice. The son is juggling his own life, work, relationships, and personal goals, alongside his mother's care. He finds himself missing deadlines, skipping social events, and losing touch with the person he used to be. Slowly, caregiving becomes all-consuming, leaving little room for anything else. There's also the impact on his relationship with his mother. As much as he loves her, the constant stress sometimes clouds that love. He fears losing her, but he also fears losing himself in the process. It's a heartbreaking paradox, wanting to be there for her, yet feeling overwhelmed by what that entails. In moments of clarity, he realizes that seeking outside help doesn't mean abandoning her. A care facility could offer professional support, ensuring she gets the attention and resources she needs. Still, taking this step feels like crossing an emotional threshold, one that requires acceptance and courage. Other caregivers have faced similar crossroads, and their stories can provide guidance. Some find solace in visiting their loved ones regularly, while allowing professionals to handle day-to-day care. Others discover that sharing the responsibility strengthens their relationships. These examples show that delegation isn't failure. It's a way to sustain love while protecting one's own health. The son's journey reflects the complexity of caregiving, a mix of love, sacrifice, and tough decisions. As he grapples with this choice, he's also coming to terms with a deeper truth: the need to accept change. This acceptance is the key to finding peace amidst the turmoil, a theme we'll explore next as we delve into embracing life's transitions. Change is one of life's constants, yet it's often the hardest to embrace. For the son, his mother's transformation feels like a loss of the person he once knew. But the truth is, she's still there, just in a different form. Accepting this change isn't about giving up, It's about learning to see her and himself with fresh eyes. Resistance to change only deepens the pain. The son often clings to memories of his mother before her illness, wishing he could bring back those moments. But living in the past prevents him from appreciating the present. Instead of mourning what's gone, he begins to cherish what remains. A soft laugh, a shared glance, or a fleeting memory that surfaces unexpectedly. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It's an act of courage. It's the willingness to face reality, even when it hurts, and to find beauty in imperfection. For the son, this might mean finding new ways to connect with his mother, like looking through old photo albums together or creating small rituals that bring comfort to both of them. Aging and illness are mirrors reflecting our own fears and vulnerabilities. As the son grapples with his mother's decline, he's also confronting his anxieties about his future. Will he face a similar path? How will he handle his own aging? These questions are unsettling but essential. They push him to reflect on what truly matters in life. Practical steps can make acceptance more tangible. For instance, mindfulness practices can help him stay present and grounded. Journaling about his feelings might offer clarity, while gratitude exercises can shift his focus toward the positives, however small they may seem. Each of these actions is a step toward embracing the reality of change. Spirituality often provides a deeper perspective on change. In Buddhism, impermanence is a fundamental truth. Everything is in constant flux. This doesn't mean life is hopeless. It means life is dynamic and full of opportunities for growth. The son begins to see his mother's condition not as an end, but as a part of the greater cycle of existence. Accepting change is the doorway to peace. It's not about avoiding pain, but transforming it into understanding. The son's journey of acceptance will shape not just his relationship with his mother, but also his outlook on life. This process of transformation naturally leads to the need for spiritual guidance, a path we'll explore next. Spiritual guidance offers a profound anchor in turbulent times. For the son, understanding aging and death through a spiritual lens helps him find clarity amidst the chaos. Buddhism teaches that life's truths, birth, aging, illness, and death, are not punishments but opportunities to awaken to life's deeper meaning. It's a perspective that shifts his focus from fear to growth. One transformative step is cultivating compassion, not just for his mother, but for himself. He's learning to forgive his moments of frustration and recognize the courage it takes to show up every day. Compassion, after all, isn't about being perfect. It's about meeting imperfection with kindness. A simple meditation practice, like silently repeating, "May I be kind to myself," can be a powerful tool. Spiritual practices also provide grounding in the present moment. The son starts incorporating mindfulness into his daily routine, pausing to take deep breaths when emotions run high, or finding peace in small moments, like the warmth of his mother's hand in his. These practices remind him that life's richness is found not in grand gestures, but in simple, heartfelt connections. Wisdom from spiritual texts and teachers can guide him further. For example, the Buddha's teachings on impermanence and the interconnectedness of all beings offer comfort. Reading books like Being Mortal by Atul Gawande or Thich Nhat Hanh's The Miracle of Mindfulness can provide practical insights while nurturing his spiritual growth. Embracing spirituality doesn't mean escaping reality. It means engaging with it more fully. For the son, this means confronting his fears of aging and death with honesty and grace. Instead of viewing these truths as adversaries, he starts seeing them as teachers, reminders to live with intention, to cherish each moment, and to prioritize what truly matters. Community plays a vital role in spiritual growth. Joining a meditation group, attending a workshop, or even connecting with others online who share similar experiences can offer the son a sense of belonging and shared purpose. Through these connections, he discovers that his journey, while deeply personal, is also universal. Spiritual guidance ultimately leads him to a place of acceptance and peace. He realizes that caring for his mother isn't just about her, it's about his own evolution. Each moment, whether joyful or challenging, is an opportunity to grow in love, patience, and understanding. And as his spiritual journey deepens, he's better equipped to navigate life's inevitable transitions. As we reflect on the journey through aging, caregiving, and the undeniable truths of life, It's clear that embracing change doesn't have to be something to fear. It can be a doorway to transformation. Whether it's through finding peace in the face of suffering, accepting our limitations, or deepening our spiritual understanding, the wisdom gained from these experiences is priceless. The next time you're confronted by the aging process, whether your own or a loved one's, ask yourself, how can this moment teach me? What can I learn about myself, my relationships, and the impermanence of life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. How has the journey of aging reshaped your life or perspective? Let's continue this conversation and support each other in embracing these powerful life lessons. And if you want more insights into living with abundance, prosperity, and spiritual depth, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Together, let's keep exploring and growing.